Good morning, students. This is lecture 4 on the chapter Business Environment. Now, in my third lecture, I discussed with you the internal factors of the microenvironment of a business organization. Now, in this section, I am going to discuss the external factors of the microenvironment of a business organization. External factors of the microenvironment of a business organization. First of all, you have to understand what these external factors are, or what do you understand by the external factors or forces of the microenvironment of a business organization. So you come to page number 8 of your textbook. Page number 8 of your textbook. You start marking from this particular sentence under external forces. First mark, then I'll explain. The external factors or forces refer to those individuals and groups or agencies. Now, after agencies, you give an arrow and write which reside outside a particular business organization. After agencies, give an arrow and write which reside outside a particular business organization, but with which that organization comes into direct and frequent contact in the course of its functioning. So I repeat, the sentence will be: the external factors or forces refer to those individuals and groups or agencies which reside outside a particular business organization, but with which that organization comes into direct and frequent contact in the course of its functioning. These individuals and groups are also known as stakeholders because they have a stake, that is financial interest, in the working and performance of the particular business organization. You will close the bracket after this sentence. So that is the meaning of the external factors or external forces of the microenvironment of a business organization. So basically, these factors or forces, they are located outside the periphery of a particular business organization, but the business organization has to come into direct and frequent contact with these agencies, groups, individuals, etc. for fulfilling its day-to-day operations. So these are external factors or forces of the microenvironment. Now let us straight away move to the next topic, that is the different elements or forces or factors of the microenvironment. The different external factors, forces or elements of the microenvironment. Number 1, customers. First you do the marking and then I'm going to explain. Open the bracket from number 1, customers. The people who buy a firm's products and services are its customers. A business exists to create and satisfy its customers. A firm may have different types of customers like individuals, households, government departments, commercial establishments, etc. For example, the customers of a paper company may include students, teachers, educational institutions, business firms, and other users of stationery. In order to be successful, a company must understand and meet the needs and expectations of its customers. A firm can select the target customer group or market segment on the basis of factors like profitability, elasticity of demand, dependability, degree of competition, and growth prospects. Close the bracket after growth prospects. Okay, so basically, under customers, you have to cover these points, these aspects. That first of all, you need to write that what customers are. So, customers, you know that these are the people, they are the individuals or groups who buy the products and avail the services which are sold and provided by a commercial organization. Now, an organization can have different types of customers, like individuals, then institutional buyers, then the government, the various departments of the governments, different business firms, etc. etc. Now, it is the responsibility of all business organization to provide optimum satisfaction to its customers. A business organization can only become successful, can only survive for long if it is able to provide the optimum satisfaction to its customers. Now, how can this optimum satisfaction be provided to the customers? Only when the business is able to understand the expectations, likes, dislikes, and aspirations of its customers and provide goods and services on the basis of such expectations, likes, dislikes, and preferences. Okay? Now, certain business organizations can, what they can do, they can select a target group of customers because their product is such, they can aim or they can select at a particular section of the society which we call the target group and start its marketing activities keeping in mind that target group for selling its products. Okay. Now, this target group can be selected on the basis of certain factors like profitability, elasticity of demand, degree of competition, the growth prospects of a business organization, etc. Now, come to the next external factor of the microenvironment, which is competitors. First, start marking. From point number 2, a company may have both direct and indirect competitors. Direct competitors are the other firms which offer the same or similar products and services. For example, Sony TV faces direct competition from other brands like LG, Samsung, Videocon, BPL, etc. Indirect competition comes from firms vying for discretionary income. For example, a cinema house faces indirect competition from casino and such other firms providing or marketing entertainment. You close the bracket after entertainment. So, under competitors, you have to write that first of all, you start writing what competitors are. That competitors, you know, are the rival firms or those business organizations which are into the same line of business. They are providing same sort of services or products, okay, to fulfill, to capture the different segments of the market. Now, competitors can be of two different types, direct competitors and indirect competitors. Direct competitors are those groups or those business firms which are producing the same product which a particular business organization is producing. They are the rival firms, they are the direct competitors, they are producing the same type of product. Like the example says that all firms which are into the television manufacturing industry will be considered as direct competitors. And you can have also indirect competitors, like the example which has been given is saying that an indirect competitor of a cinema house can be the other organizations which are providing entertainment, different types of entertainment to the people. Like you can have these entertainment parks like Eco Park, Nico Park, etc. Then you can have this, these casinos, etc. So all these are providing some sort of entertainment to the people. So these are called indirect competitors. Now, it is very important for a business organization to identify its competitors and deal with them. A business firm must be able to deal with its competitors. Now, this can be done through regular market research, first to identify and locate the indirect and the direct competitors, okay, who are there in the market. Then it is very important to understand that what these competitors are trying to do, their marketing strategies, the types of products which they are about to introduce in the market, and take all precautionary measures to withstand the actions of these competitors in the days to come. So that is very important. Now move on to the next point, which is suppliers, the next external factor. Suppliers. So first mark, suppliers refer to the people and groups who supply raw materials and components to the company. Reliable sources of supply enable the company to carry on uninterrupted operations and to minimize inventory carrying costs. Suppliers also influence quality levels and costs of manufacturing. It is very risky to depend on a single supplier. A strike or any other production problem of that particular supplier may cause interruptions in manufacturing. Therefore, it is advisable to develop and sustain multiple sources of supply. Close the bracket after that. So, suppliers are those groups or those individuals who supply raw materials, equipment, and other components which are required to run the business organization, to carry out the manufacturing activities and as well as trading activities. And it is very important for a business organization to have reliable sources of supply, because if the sources of supply are not reliable, then it will cause a number of problems. Like there will be regular interruption, raw materials won't be made available at the proper time, there will be regular stoppage in the manufacturing, in the course of manufacturing. Okay, now, but if an organization is able to maintain reliable sources of supply, then that will lead to a number of advantages, like it will enjoy uninterrupted operations, it will help in minimizing inventory carrying costs, then the quality levels will also improve, and the cost of manufacturing will come down. So these are the advantages or importance of having reliable sources of supply. And it is always advisable for a business organization to have a number of suppliers at the same point in time, because if an organization simply relies on one supplier, so problems in the organization of the supplier may in turn create problems of that particular business organization. So it is always advisable to have a group of suppliers supplying raw materials and all other necessary stuff and components of the best quality. Next factor, that is marketing intermediaries or middlemen. Marketing intermediaries or middlemen first start marking Several marketing intermediaries help a company in promoting, selling, and distributing its products to consumers. Middlemen like agents, wholesalers, and retailers serve as a link between the company and its customers. Transportation firms and warehouses assist in the physical distribution of products. Advertising agencies, marketing research agencies, and insurance companies are other types of marketing intermediaries. One example has been given. The countrywide retail distribution network has contributed significantly to the success of the companies like Hindustan Unilever Limited and Dabur India Limited. So entire paragraph, close the bracket after that example, Dabur India Limited. So marketing intermediaries or middlemen are those people or those groups or those institutions which help a manufacturer to distribute and send his products to different parts of the country and make the products available to the ultimate customers. Now, these business intermediaries, these marketing intermediaries can be of different types, like wholesalers, retailers, dealers, people who are providing transportation services, warehousing services, then advertising agencies, marketing research agencies, insurance companies, etc. Whole lot of them. All these, they are the marketing intermediaries or middlemen who are actually helping the manufacturer to make his goods available at the right place and at the right time and to the right people. Now, without the help of these middlemen or intermediaries, it will become almost impossible for the manufacturers to make his goods available at the proper time and at the proper place. And without a proper network of physical distribution in the country, it will be very difficult for the manufacturers to operate, because manufacturers, they need to give more time, they need to concentrate more in the manufacturing activity. Now, if they have to also take the burden of distributing the goods physically from the point of production to the point of distribution, so that will create a lot of pressure on them. So all these business intermediaries, wholesalers, retailers, agents, dealers, transporters, warehouses, etc., they constitute the physical chain of distribution and provide a lot of important services for ensuring the smooth flow of goods and services from the point of production to the point of consumption. Now, factor number 5, financiers. Start marking. The shareholders, financial institutions, debenture holders, and banks provide finance to a company. Financial capacity, policies, and attitudes of the financiers are important factors for the company. For example, the company cannot raise funds through shares if the financiers are not willing to take risks. Please don't write not risk taking, instead you write if the financiers are not willing to take risks. So the example will be, for example, the company cannot raise funds through shares if the financiers are not willing to take risks. You close the bracket after that. So financiers are those people or those institutions which provide finance to a business organization as and when required. Now, these financiers can be of different types, like shareholders, banks, financial institutions, professional investors, etc. Now, these financiers play a very significant role for the success of an organization. The scale of operations, the organization, you know, uh, the organization can decide on its scale of operations whether it is going to operate on a small scale or medium scale or a large scale, then type of projects which it can undertake, amount of liquidity which it can maintain, and type of technology which it can implement, that is capital intensive or labor intensive, expansion or diversification programs which it can pursue. All these things, everything depends on the financial strength, policies and attitudes, and objectives and expectations of the financiers. Okay, so the last factor, public, which you may not learn, that you can close the bracket after point number 5, that is financiers, and prepare a 5-mark question from this particular part, and you study these 5 external factors or forces or elements of the microenvironment, which are customers, competitors, suppliers, marketing intermediaries or middlemen, and financiers. So I'll conclude this session over here. In my next session, I'm going to discuss macro environment of a business organization and its factors. Thank you.